You're listening to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS podcast with hosts Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome to the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook live show here. We are breaking down Friday's 11-game main slate. My friend, Friday, TGIF, we're here. We made it. How we doing?
TGIF. John, TGIF to you and everyone that celebrates around the world. It's been a week of interesting baseball, and wrapping it up with an 11-gamer here. Nothing is going to change with that. Wrapping it up with an 11-gamer that, this is like the third straight day of pitching kind of iffy, right? Last night's pitching, John. You were spot on. Adrian Hauser was the highest scoring pitcher of the night. I mean, Urias left after 70 pitches. Ohtani left with another finger injury.
Hand cramp? What are we doing?
And then Helmer's. Dude, if he leaves with a homer, here's my new thing. If he leaves a game pitching with an injury, live bet a home run after that. I think it's the third time this year that he's left a game that he's pitched and then has homered. Just live bet a home run. It'll be plus 2,000 that he'll home run. But nevertheless, another just randomly weird slate of pitching where back-to-back days, Dane Dunning and Adrian Hauser, the two best pitchers.
I wouldn't say
on the
random
slate.
because, we were in on those plays. We broke down the analysis. We had the reasoning behind it. We played them. We told you guys to play them. The question is, given today's slate, do we have that 6K pitcher? Because I don't know. I'm not sure he's on the board today. It's not good.
It's not great, Bob. Not great, Bob.
So we'll get into everything. Obviously, again, 11 games here. But before we do, as always, we'll start the show off with our real-time fantasy sports DFS pick'em plays of the day. Go to realtimertsports.com/alarm. Promo code ALARM23 gets new users a 100% deposit match with their first deposit. James, let's get to our plays of the day. Taking a look here at the real-time fantasy sports DFS pick'em board here. James, I did the RT Sports DFS pick'em video earlier today. You can go find that out on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel, Fantasy Alarm social channels. It's out there. A couple picks there, hopefully to cash you like we did yesterday. Both plays cashed that we did for the RT video yesterday. Let's see if we can get some winners here this evening. I'm going to start it off. Most obvious play on the board, we're going to Baltimore. We have a lefty on the mound. We have Ryan Mountcastle.
I was going to say, which one?
Can I play all of them? I don't
here?
think I can. I did the total bases for my prop this morning. Over 1.5 total bases. He has at least 2 hits in 4 straight games. All we need out of him there to hit the 1.5 total bases. He is absolutely smashing left-handed pitching this year. 350 ISO. It's a 400 WOBA. It's just insane numbers against Southpaws here. So he's got a lefty on the mound for the Mets here in Peterson. So Mountcastle over the 1.5 total bases for me.
Love it. And he's hit this over 5 straight games. So I know you mentioned the multi-hits, but that 5th game, also a home run.
Right.
So he's just, I'm going to parlay that here, John. Head to my favorite matchup of the day in the Colorado-St. Louis game. And I'm going to go with St. Louis leadoff hitter Lars Nootbaar over half a run. Chris Flexen is on the mound today, and Chris Flexen's been terrible against pretty much everybody. And if you haven't noticed what Lars Nootbaar has done lately,
good things,
then you're kind of missing out. 364 average over his last 10 games. And again, hitting atop the order. We have 6 runs scored in his last 6 games. So I love Lars Nootbaar here to score a run. So I'm going over or more than half a run for Lars Newberg.
Yep, I agree with you there. And then my last play we'll throw on there, going over to the Royals matchup with the Phillies here. Jordan Lyles on the mound. Bryce Harper is just 6.5 fantasy points. I get it. It has not been a great season for Bryce Harper. Understandable. Hear you on that. But it's Jordan Lyles. And Jordan Lyles against lefties, it's over 550 slug, something in that range here. It's a ridiculous average allowed. If there's ever a time for Bryce Harper to get over 6.5 fantasy points, it's going to be tonight against Jordan Lyles. He's at home. So bring me in Harper here more than the 6.5 fantasy points.
I love it. I just, wish Bryce Harper was like other first basemen and hit for power, just like most first basemen do,
Power 6.5 fantasy points. I'll take a double.
No, I know he doesn't need.
Like an RBI hit and a run scored. It's all we
could have 3 hits tonight. Yeah, could have 3 hits tonight off Jordan Lyles.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. So that's our RT Sports DFS pick and plays. Unless you got anything else, do you want to make it a 4-pack tonight, or are you good?
No, I don't. Nope.
Alrighty.
Nope.
We got 3 slices here on the RT Sports DFS pick and play. Mountain Castle more than 1.5 total bases. Newt Bar more than a half a run, and Harper more than 6.5 fantasy points this evening. Go check it out again, rtsports.com/alarm. Promo code alarm23. New users get a 100% deposit match up to $200. If you don't want to play the DFS pick'em game, use your deposit match in any of their fantasy football championship contests. Best ball, seasonal, you name it. You get an opportunity to compete to win some pretty big prizes. I think the best ball championship is $25,000. So you can use that deposit match, enter those contests there, basically free roll yourself with the match deposit and get a chance to win $25,000. So James, with that said here, let's now turn our attention over to tonight's main slate over on the DraftKings here. Bringing out Newt Bar stat right there. Pitching wise, though, starting it up. Where do you want to lead it off? What do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? Should we talk about weather? I guess we should talk about the weather, right?
Yeah, talk about the weather a little bit.
Houston, New York is unfortunately a game we need to at least worry about. Rain is going to be in that area towards the end of that game. Now, could they get through it without rain? Possibly. But if the rain does show up, it is a type of rain that, could potentially cause a delay. And in the later innings when that happens, sometimes that just means that those games don't finish. But we do like the Astros here because they have that matchup against Luis Severino, so they could get all the damage done early, knock Severino out, and go from there. But that has to be on your radar as something to watch. Atlanta, Chicago could rain there at the end of that game. Toronto, Boston looks like the rain's going to hold off towards that one as well. Again, we'll see how the radar works there. Kansas City, Philly, also another one where it could rain towards the end of the game. So rain is moving up the East Coast here late in the later innings of a lot of these games. So that's something to pay attention to there. Arizona, Minnesota, we have wind blowing in. So if you were looking at maybe a Merrill Kelly tonight, like I was kind of looking to target in the lineups, good news, wind blowing in for him there. Colorado, St. Louis doesn't look to be an issue there weather-wise. So that's what we got going on. Atlanta, Chicago also. That game was earlier today. I was going to say they had some wind issues. Kyle Hendricks not saved by the wind there. Atlanta just hung a bunch of runs on him this afternoon. So that's what we have for weather today.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about sometimes late inning weather these days, John, is that the games move so fast that sometimes there's never a drop of rain that hits the stadium, So hopefully that's the case in Houston, New York, because I think that's going to be a very popular spot for one side of that.
Right. I would agree with you there. So Vegas totals, what's sticking out to you?
Vegas totals on this slate. Let's take a look. Money line, anything. So the Cardinals are the biggest money line favorites on the board. No, Phillies are the biggest money line favorite on the board. And then the Cardinals are second. Phillies the only team over minus 200. It's actually gotten a little closer in the Colorado St. Louis game. 8.5 implied runs, Houston, New York. That's a little surprising, but heavy lean on the over there. 9 and 9.5 in certain places for Kansas City, Philadelphia. 10.5 it's up to, John, in Boston, Toronto. It opened at 10. Also, interesting note, most sports books have the lean on the over 10.5 in the Boston Toronto game. So
Yeah,
could we
a little,
see
little
that bet
surprising.
up even
Maybe
more?
because of
Yeah.
Manoah on the mound.
I think more so probably Manoah. Also Fenway Park in play as
Yeah.
well. Always the Fenway bump has been on full display this year. 9.5 implied runs in Colorado St. Louis, 10 on DraftKings Sportsbook, but plus 100 to go over.
Sure.
So big lean on the under, and that's it for notable over unders.
Sure. All right, let's break into the slate here. We got pitching at the top, Castillo and Nola. As we mentioned, could be some rain at the end of that game against Philly. Castillo dealing with the Angels and Ohtani. Potentially, we have Luzardo against Texas. Montgomery making his debut. Paxton at home against Toronto at 9K. Those are your top 4 price starting pitchers. When we talked about it this morning, we were kind of keying in on Aaron Nola. Where does the consensus rostership projections lean towards this pitching slate?
It leans toward Nola, which I think you and I both figured it would be. He's had a disappointing season overall, but it was a season full of tough matchups to start. And outside of this latest Pittsburgh start, like it's been filled with a lot more good than bad, at least lately. So Aaron Nola gets one of the best matchups on the board. We've ad nauseum talked about how bad Kansas City's offense is. He is the highest owned pitcher of the slate, nearly 40%. No one else is. We'll get to one guy who's close to 30, but Luis Castillo is third in terms of ownership, about 20%. I mean, you've said it a lot. Like, if he gets bit by the home run ball, he gets himself into trouble. And if he doesn't, I mean, he's good. Like, he's elite. I mean, 26, 29 fantasy points the last 2 games with no home runs allowed, right? So, direct correlation to if he does not allow the home run ball, he is hard to hit.
And Angels' high strikeout rate against right-handed pitching recently, so it could be some swing and miss. They added a lot of power to that lineup, right? Crone, Grichuk, Moustakas, like they have a lot of guys that can leave the yard now. Not even mentioning the fact that Ohtani is king home run at this point, so could be a tough spot. With Nola, I almost have like PTSD from the Darvish Pittsburgh Pirates game where it's like,
no.
Yeah, I get it. Darvish has kind of struggled, but like, it's the Pirates and like he could probably overpower. And then like he gave up 7 runs in 3 innings and we're like, oh, yeah, right. He sucked all season. Of course he sucked today.
Right.
I have like slight hesitation with Nola the more I've kind of like gone on throughout the day because I'm like, yeah, this is definitely the matchup he should pitch well in. Like, should. He should pitch well in. And then, like, Bobby Witt and Salvi Perez and Michael Massey are, like, just rounding the bases on him. And I'm like, I should have known. He sucked all year. So, for that kind of reason, I'm leaning more towards Paxton tonight and Merrill Kelly as, like, my duo. And I think that's what we built on this morning for a lineup as well. And I haven't really veered too much from that standing. Toronto, again, a team that doesn't really hit left-handed pitching all that well. And they're down Bo Bichette now. And, Paxton, I think, feels probably a sense of relief knowing he's not being traded, hopefully, now. Like, he can kind of settle in. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. I'm leaning Paxton Kelly as my top 2 starters tonight.
So let me ask you this, because looking at numbers since the All-Star break, Toronto, surprisingly, second in OPS, second in WOBA against left-handed pitching. Is that scary?
I guess it depends on sample sizes and like what are the lefties that they've also faced. I mean, we talk about that a lot as well. They've had success, but are they facing top talented lefties or are they? We consider Paxton the way he's pitched this year to be above average, right? When it comes to lefties, so.
Very quality pitcher.
I will go pitcher versus long sample size of hitting here, especially again, like I don't know. It feels like the more productive hitters in the Toronto lineup lately have been some of their left-handed hitters. Guys, like Belt and that crew here. So no, I'm still willing to run it out here. Again, he had a decent start against San Francisco, pitched well against the Mets. his really only struggles this year were against the Cubs. Faced Toronto already this year and shut them out over 7 2/3. So, yeah, I'm willing. Listen, I'll die on the sword, I guess, if that ends up being the case. Small sample size at home this year, dominant 2.25 ERA in Fenway, 35 Ks in 28 innings. So I'm willing to give him a run there. And like I said, Kelly was one of the first pitchers I plugged into lineups today. Anyways, just strikeout upside against Minnesota. I love seeing the wind blowing in. Should help any home run potential because we know Minnesota has guys that can go yard here. And what did we talk about before? At least last season, like Merrill Kelly was a reverse splits pitcher, right? So they're going to be throwing a whole bunch of lefties at Merrill Kelly this year today. And are the numbers holding up? You can tell me now if you're looking at them. Is he still getting lefties out pretty well?
Let's look at Merrill Kelly. He is getting, he's just getting everyone out. Yeah. Lefties have a 154 ISO, which is slightly above average. But like he's getting righties out and he's getting lefties out. Like nobody's really doing. He also has a massive ground ball rate against lefties. Like they're not really doing anything.
Yeah, he's just historically been a guy over the last few years that have really limited left-handed bats. 2021 280 WOBA, 227 WOBA, 2020 314 last year, like 190 batting average against lefties this year, 273 WOBA. So I mean, yeah, and so he just shuts them down. So if you're going to tell me that Julian and Wallner and Kepler and Polanco and all these guys are going to go up there and like, oh, we'll hit from the left side today. It's like, okay, like that's feeding into Merrill Kelly's strengths. So, yeah, I love Merrill Kelly a lot. He might be my favorite pitcher of the entire night.
Yeah, the strikeout rate for Merrill Kelly this year has been probably the most impressive thing. He's striking out both sides of the plate. And since the break, I didn't think it could get any worse for Minnesota's strikeout rate. It has against right-handed pitching, 29.7%. Do have a massive ISO OPS combination, but they are striking out literally 30% of the time. So I like Merrill Kelly quite a bit as well.
Yeah, he's got a 25% strikeout rate against left-handed hitters this year. So
it's surprising.
Yeah. Kelly over Nola, DePrince. That for me, yeah. I like I said, could Aaron Nola go out tonight? 8 innings, 11 Ks, shutout, 100%. It's Kansas City, but he just hasn't pitched well. The Pirates just tagged him, so like, I don't know. I am less bullish on Aaron Nola than I was this morning on the show. Just the feeling of like. He's had a tough schedule, but maybe that's just also gotten into him too, where it's just like he's getting hit every day. So I'm going Merrill Kelly over Aaron Nola tonight. How do you rank Kelly compared to the other guy? Would you rather Castillo and Nola in that crew, or are you with me here?
So I think this is knowing DePrince is a FanDuel player. I think this is a slightly different question because it's one pitcher where like, I just pulled up FanDuel ownership, okay? There are 2 pitchers getting double-digit ownership tonight. Okay. Aaron Nola is significantly higher than everyone else, and then Reed Detmers, who we'll get to.
Sure.
Merrill Kelly is 1% owned, and he's $300 more than Aaron Nola on FanDuel.
Really? That explains the authorship then.
Yeah, so like knowing DePrince is playing FanDuel, right? I would say for $300 less, I would probably go Aaron Nola, but like it's also an ownership question. 29% less rostered is Merrill Kelly. Merrill Kelly has the better strikeout spot, even though Kansas City in their own right. To be fair, John, and I'm going to be fair to Kansas City right now.
Yeah.
Since the All-Star break, can you guess what Kansas City's strikeout rate against right-handed pitching is?
You said to be fair to them, so is it like 20%?
19.2% since the All-Star break. It's a 551 plate appearance sample size. Now, they have a 5% walk rate. That's the lowest in baseball. They have like a 760 OPS, 182 WOBA. Like, like decent numbers for Kansas
Yeah.
City, and that obviously has direct correlation to have Bobby Witt being like everything everyone wanted him to be, like
Right.
essentially every night right now. So I understand it. I'm just saying, like large scale, Aaron Nola has the better matchup. Right now, you're probably right with Merrill Kelly.
Okay.
I just like the pricing on FanDuel is throwing me off a little bit there
Sure.
because 10-2 for Merrill Kelly at 1% or 9-9 for Aaron Nola at 30%.
Yeah. I mean,
On
I'll say
DraftKings,
this. I mean, listen, if you're playing tournaments, then Kelly's your play, right?
yeah, if you're
Because
playing tournaments,
you
Kelly's
want to
Kelly's your
differentiate
play.
yourself. And if Aaron Nola goes out there at what did you say his projected percentage was?
30, he's about 31%.
If he goes out there
on
at
FanDuel.
30% and gives up 5 runs tonight to the Kansas City Royals, and Merrill Kelly does what I am banking on him doing because he's my core pitcher tonight, like you just leapt a third of the field. So
Right.
that I again, Castillo very much in play. I agree 100% should be there in that conversation. Again, I think Merrill Kelly is my number 2 pitcher on this. He's might be my number 1 pitcher on the slate, but him and Castillo right up there, and it all depends on where you can build your lineups around. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's me. Talked about Reed Detmers though, $8,200. What's in on Reed Detmers tonight against Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked him last night. I think there's like a lot of appeal with Reed Detmers, and I've said this from the jump. Reed Detmers has elite strikeout stuff. Like he misses a lot of bats, and this is something they were banking on last year, and it just was like very inconsistent. Outside, he threw the no hitter for them last year, right? Didn't Detmers throw the no hitter as a rookie last year? They had a rookie. I think it was
I'm not
Detmers. It
sure.
was either him or Silseth. Him or Silseth threw a no hitter. I think it was Detmers, but outside of like a few
It was.
starts
Yep,
last
he threw a
year,
no hitter.
he threw a no hitter,
Yep.
right? Outside of the no hitter, like it was very disappointing season for Detmers overall. But 127 strikeouts in 101 innings this year is really good for a guy that I don't think people realized was this good. Like, and I understand that the ERA is 4.35 and he's 2-8 in terms of his record tonight. And then you look at Seattle since the break. Okay, 30.6% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. That's second worst. Can't believe someone's worse than them, but Colorado, has the crown there. 071 ISO since the break against left-handed pitching, John. 637 team OPS. And again, can't believe there's teams worse than that, but there are. 286 WOBA against left-handed pitching for Seattle. You look at Detmers, like everything kind of suggests that he's been a little unlucky. 4.35 ERA. His expected ERA is 4.11. His xFIP is 384. His FIP is 367. Like
I'll say this: we go through this every night where you rattle off stats, and I can just go see. All right, does it line up with the sports books? Oh, it lines up with the sports books tonight. Reed Detmers minus 115 over 17.5 outs, minus 150 over 6.5 strikeouts, minus 130 under 2.5 earned runs. So a lot of things are leaning up.
I saw your eyes you were looking at them.
Minus 130 was Bobby Miller. He's minus 155 under 2.5 earned runs.
Sheesh.
So
I saw your eyes like flashing when you were flipping through all those numbers. Yeah. Like I could see something. Yeah, Taco, I agree. That is a lock. He's so. What do you make of the ownership, John? Because he's one of the most popular.
I mean, I understand why that's the case. I mean, he's $8,200 on DraftKings. What's his FanDuel price?
He's kind of pricey. He's $9,000.
Okay. Well, that's not that bad though for FanDuel.
On FanDuel, right? On FanDuel, if it's like under $10,000, you can build like a really reasonable lineup.
It's almost like an even money game too, which is so. Here's like where the confusing thing sort of is, right? Like Luis Castillo, it's probably very rare occasions where a team isn't even money on a night when Luis Castillo is on the mound, right? So like Vegas really likes Reed Detmers tonight. They're minus 105 on the money line. Seattle's minus 115. It's an 8 over under total here on the game tonight as well. So like they're not really expecting a lot of runs scored in general in this one. But again, a lot of the numbers there, if you just kind of lean which the way the sort of juice is flowing, you're looking at, 6 innings, 2 earned, and 7 strikeouts out of Reed Detmers tonight as like a minimum baseline if you were to bet the way the money is there with Detmers here tonight. So, and you just read off all those numbers could easily be better. Again, I just kind of run into a spot where it's like, okay, I hear you. His box scores don't look that great, right? He's a very inefficient guy. He walks, the pitch counts get up high. So, you need him to pop off for like a ceiling game like he did here against the White Sox. Guys shut out the Dodgers in June, right? Like definitely some ceiling. I mean, look at this 5-game stretch: 26, 23, 30, 31, 28 against the Cubs, the Rangers, the Dodgers, the White Sox, and D-backs. I mean, like,
dude, he's good.
Yeah,
he's good.
You're right. Great tournament play. Great tournament.
You're right though. Like, it's crazy to see the over so highly juiced on the 17.5 outs when he's only done that once.
Yeah, minus 115.
He's only done it once in his last 4 starts. Like it's crazy. And one of them was Pittsburgh. I don't know. I mean, look, I love Detmers tonight. I do. But I
shout out Yahoo. Favorite Yahoo play. Let me break out Yahoo. It's been a little.
No. You're reading that wrong. Favorite player to go
Yahoo. I was like tonight. Yahoo. We used to do Yahoo DFS all the time.
We did. I know you're itching to get back into some Yahoo, but
so here's the thing.
We're going Yahoo.
I love Yahoo DFS because nobody plays over there, so there's always a lot of overlay. Now they obviously had to decrease some of the top end payouts for that because not a lot of people were playing over there, but I kind of like the format and scoring for Yahoo. Sure. So it was like DraftKings setup with FanDuel scoring. So like interesting. Favorite player to go Yabo tonight. I like Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker against Houston.
Whoa. T.O., John. End of the show. We give out our home run picks. End of the show, Sneak peek.
Kyle Tucker.
End of the show. We're giving out our home run picks. Since I just gave out my home run call, if you're tuning in now and you haven't already, you have to like and subscribe to the channel. Agreed. Only fair.
I just gave you my home run call tonight. Usually we do that at the end of the show. I'm sure a lot of you were tuning in for that reason. You have to like and subscribe to the channel. All right. You caught me off guard. I got excited talking about Yahoo, and then I gave out my Yabo call. So, give me a like and subscribe on the channel for that, please. All right, we're still talking about pitching. We haven't got past Reed Detmers yet. I don't know if we don't need to. We don't. The question is there anybody else down here in a matchup that you think is viable? We have Montgomery making his debut against Miami. Logan Allen against a White Sox team that no longer has the Burger Man, Jake Burger, and all his power against lefties. Dan Creamer has 10 wins on the season. He's got the lowly Mets here at $7,200.
Dan Creamer. All right, Mark. Where's Mark? All right, Mark.
Creamer. Shout out Mark.
All right, shout out Mark.
Dan Creamer. D Creamer. Mike Clevenger. $6,900 against Cleveland. Mark asked about Colin Ray. Now, we've crapped on Colin Ray all season long. Most teams have, but 6-2, 5-2, 6 2/3, 2 against him earlier.
Yeah.
Can he be Adrian Hauser tonight? Can he be that guy?
Is Colin Ray Adrian Hauser because he pitches for Milwaukee from the right side and faces Pittsburgh again tonight?
And 8 Ks against Atlanta, 7 against Cincinnati. So like, he's a strikeout dealing this year.
He needs to avoid the lefties. Because righties are doing nothing against him. Very high ground ball rate against him.
So just walk Jack Sawinski and work figure it out.
So Alfonso Rivas leading off. Jack Sawinski, Brian Reynolds. So 3 of 4. Andy Rodriguez, 5. So 5 lefties in the lineup tonight.
Okay.
And how many are scared by Rivas leading off? Is he used to be a Cub and now he's like stumbled onto the Pirates, not scared there. Andy Rodriguez looks like a good prospect, but he's just that, a prospect. Yeah. Sawinski has a 29% strikeout rate, even though he crushes baseballs. So, I could get behind some Colin Ray, right? I could, as Mark doesn't need to hear anything more about Colin Ray. I think he's viable.
I'm checking out Vegas here. So he's minus 115 on both the over and the under 2.5 earned runs. So Vegas is just like figure it out. You decide. Let's see here. Colin Ray. Minus 120 over 16.5 outs at minus 110 under 16.5 outs. So again, they're literally coin flipping. They're just like, you decide. You figure out what to do with Colin Ray today. He can go either way. Strikeouts, though, big under. Minus 165 on the under 5.5 this evening. So
I kind of think that's pretty. I think that's pretty accurate. Let me ask you. I want to ask you about Clevenger because when you look at Colin Ray, there's double-digit ownership coming his way, and we can move on after Clevenger because I don't think we need to spend much more time. Like Logan Allen's fine, Hunter Brown's fine. If you wanted to get to these guys, 1% rostership on Mike Clevenger, and you talked about it last night. Like he looked really good in his debut. I don't think he's going to be extended too much. Like he did only throw 72 pitches, but could he throw into the 80s at 6,900? Nice, probably. And he gets Cleveland matchup that he just faced, 5 scoreless innings. Cleveland traded off Josh Bell.
Naylor in their lineup tonight? Do we know?
Josh Naylor, let's see, is not in the lineup this evening.
I will say that Vegas does not like Mike Clevenger tonight.
Okay. Well,
over 2.5 earned runs and under his outs projection. So,
okay.
But I mean, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lefties in the lineup tonight against him could be a reason. But again, this offense really doesn't have like a lot of punt.
And their best, arguably their best player this year is not in the lineup. And I know Jose Ramirez exists, but like total body of work, Josh Naylor might be having the better year.
Josh Bell, if they knew that
Naylor wasn't going to play. Yeah. So. Well, they're also just punting. They're just handing Minnesota the division. They're just like, here you go.
I don't think I go there. If Colin Ray is getting some rostership, I might consider that play there. But largely, I am again. I don't think I go much lower than Detmers. Creamer, I could be, I guess, swayed.
Good old Dan, because he has good.
If you get rid of this E, his name is Dan. So like, I wasn't too far off. They're minus 150 favorites on the money line here tonight. Strikeout.
Get rid of the E. What is wrong with you? It has to be Friday. There's no doubt. It's Friday. 4.5
strikeouts over. He's minus 155. Earned runs for Creamer tonight. They're even across the board. 2.5 is minus 115 for both the under and the over. Outs 3/4 for Creamer. Minus 120 over 16.5. So 5 2/3. 2 earned, 6 Ks for Creamer maybe tonight.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where we're at pitching. I go back to just saying, like, give me Merrill Kelly, and I think Paxton or Castillo Detmers is probably my group. I think that's my 4.
No, I'm in on Nola. I'm probably gonna be with the chalk off on.
I hate playing chalk pitching for the most part. So
I know. Yeah, no, I'm not saying I'm against Merrill Kelly because I like Merrill Kelly. The Paxton thing is a little scary seeing Toronto's numbers since the break. I'm okay. I've been on Team Paxton all year, so like I want.
But you read the Kansas City numbers since the break. Those aren't good.
I know. They're not. I know. I honestly, I might just play Reed Detmers and
just like avoid this.
Close my eyes for my SP2.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, let's move on to catcher here because we spent 25 minutes talking, rightfully so, talking pitching like we do every show.
Right.
Talk a lot of pitchers. We got an Angels lineup here. We do have Ohtani at DH here tonight. So we figured Rengifo, Cron, Moustakas. Ooh. Good news for John's Roto team. Brennan Drury activated from the IL. In the middle of their lineup tonight, hitting 6. Moniak, Renfroe, Theis, and Grichuk.
Grichuk hitting 9th is weird to see.
My road team was dying for a second baseman, so I'm pretty happy to see Drury activated there. So, all right, catcher. You can spend it for Adley if you want. Again, good against lefties, totally fine. Salvi, if you're not in on Nola, home run play, big time for that spot there. You've been saying for weeks you play Francisco Alvarez against righties, not lefties. Yes. So 4K hitting second tonight against Dean Creamer. Any Alvarez love for you?
Yeah, I mean, dude, 341 ISO, 389 WOBA against right-handed pitching. And Creamer struggles against lefties and whatnot, but Alvarez has insane power hitting at the top of that lineup. I'm not going all full bore with Mets, but Alvarez has a one-off for sure.
Moving on down here, we got double catches for Toronto. They're throwing Danny Jansen and Alejandro Kirk 4th and 5th tonight. That's the Blue Jays lineup.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Toronto. Love it. Look at Kirk. Kirk's been a menace lately.
I'm just saying, like, that they got double catchers hitting 4th and 5th here tonight. So,
I like Kirk. I know that was more of a like, oh, that's the lineup you're telling me that.
Yeah, the James Paxton's not thrown through. Danny Jansen, Alejandro Kirk.
I do like them like in tournaments for hitting 4th and 5th like quite a bit. That's pretty good.
This guy doesn't even. This guy's not even on the slate. Davis Schneider.
Don't you dare disrespect Davis Schneider like that.
You tell me who David Schneider is, and I'll go ahead and take advantage of him. So
he might be the man. His dad is the manager. I like Wilson Contreras against Chris Flexen. Wilson Contreras has been really good for like he's kind of back offensively, and he's hitting 5th in the middle of this lineup. And Flexen has been very bad. And the kicker, I mean, Contreras has been like 4K or 5K pretty much the entire season. So
I agree. I mean, listen, I'm gonna ask you: Is St. Louis a popular play today?
They are pretty popular.
Yeah, I was gonna say it felt like they might be.
There are 3 teams with projected double-digit ownership. It's Boston against Manoah, Philadelphia against Jordan Lyles, and St. Louis against Chris Flexen. Okay. Which I don't know if you noticed, one of those teams where a team was omitted from double-digit ownership that you and I stacked on this morning's podcast, and we'll get to them in a second.
I didn't hear Houston, so
didn't hear Houston. Houston, we got not hear
Houston there. All right, so probably punting then Endy right against Ray if we're not going there.
Yeah, or Bo Naylor
or Wong. I guess Wong against Manoah is probably good at home against a righty. That's a kind of Wong play.
Yeah, he's getting some ownership too, so you're with the field there.
Yeah, I like that play. So if you're spending up, there's obviously some guys here. Contreras, probably a little chalky. Alvarez. I think Salvi for a home run call could be a spot.
Sure.
And Adley, if you're playing Baltimore against a lefty, could be. Moving on over to first base here. You can always play Ohtani. We talked about the home run troubles that Castillo has had, and Ohtani's homering like every other day at this point. So you can certainly go there. Nobody's getting Freddie Freeman out. Like nobody's getting Freddie Freeman out.
I'm telling you, this guy is on a different planet. He's on a different planet.
MVP this year? Who's winning MVP of the National League?
Acuna.
Oh, yeah.
But I was going to say, if Acuna didn't exist, like no one's even coming close to Freeman.
Acuna's going to go 40-70 this year. So
yeah, I mean, there's no like. Unfortunately for Freeman, no matter what league he would play in, he would finish second because like Ohtani exists and like. There's just 2 clear-cut guys.
He'll get that Silver Slugger award, and he'll feel good about it, you know?
Yes,
can throw that out there. Anyways, so Freeman's there, Ohtani, play them both, 100% in there.
You're going to say
I know, but if there's ever a spot for Bryce Harper to homer.
There's no discount. There's no discount. Look, and this is a spot where I'm willing to just chalk up and say, screw it. If I get beat by Philadelphia chalk, then so be it. I know Jordan Lyles is bad, but like, why are they the second highest rostered?
Because Jordan Lyles is bad, dude.
I know he's bad, but Philly's offense is
You're
bad.
going to play the Schwarber stick. You're going to play Harper, and they're going to just homer and pay it off.
Dude, since the break, there is one team with a worse team OPS than Philadelphia. It's the Chicago White Sox. That means Detroit. That means Detroit, Oakland, the Yankees, the Giants, the Nationals, the Pirates,
and none of them are discounted. You have to pay a premium for all of them. So,
and none of them are discounted. Like you play like Bohm and Stott. those are like the two like most reliable.
Not their
Who's
$300 million
Alec
eight
Bowen's
hitter. You don't
not?
play their $300 million eight hitter.
I'm
No?
just saying. Like I get the allure because it's
What do
Jordan
you think's gonna be
Lyles.
your worst contract? Paying Trey Turner $300 million or giving Anthony Davis $60 million a year?
I mean, Anthony Davis will never hit 8.
Anthony Davis might not play 8 minutes, so like
he might not play 8 minutes. Last, yeah. I don't know. That's a tough question. I thought Captain America was gonna have a great year, and like he's hitting 8th now. So
yeah, many will say that the World Baseball Classic might have hampered quite a few players this year. Sandy Alcantara still hasn't got out of spring training yet, so still struggling.
Some might.
All right, jokes aside, here we got it's Friday. Got a couple more minutes here to break down the rest of the positions. Where are you in the mid range then?
Ryan Mountcastle, just go right to him. Right to him.
31
38
for the last 10 games for my boy.
He's not. He's been insane.
The lefty numbers are just out of this world. And listen, now Peterson hasn't been stretched out. He's been in the bullpen, but they traded 2 starters and he's starting now. I don't know if he's long for the game, but we're going to at least hopefully get 2 ABs, right, against Peterson here.
Yep.
So
I would say guaranteed 1.
Guaranteed
2, probably 2. Right. But again, like you said, he hasn't pitched more than 2 innings in a while. So, but also, the Mets traded off a bunch of bullpen pieces too. Before it's not like they have like this. Like David Robertson ain't walking through that door anymore, John. So
below Mountcastle, we got Tristan Casas coming off of his AL Rookie of the Month award, 382 for homers. Gets Alek Manoah here. Casas enjoying the home cooking this year a little bit more as well from a batting average perspective here. So certainly can get there at $3,700 if you want to. Was there another value that we like down here though? I don't recall.
I got one.
Okay, what do you got?
I got one. Alec Burleson, 2,700 going up in Chris Flexen, homers in back-to-back games. He was your boy earlier in the year.
I played a ton of them,
and then he kind of stunk, he sent down, and now we're kind of back to the really good version, and he's going to continue to play with Brendan Donovan out for the year. Yep, hitting it. Yeah, hitting it.
All right, so that's where I'm at first base. Second base, again, if you want to play bets, go for it. I'm never going to say no. Altuve against Severino is just expensive, so you have to just deal with the pricing. Do you want to pay up for Altuve or do you want to pay up for Yordan and Tucker? I know where my money's going. It's not going to be Jose Altuve. So where are we?
I mean, if you're not paying up for pitching, you could play them.
Yeah. You mentioned
which is, I think,
hitting 5th.
Yeah, I think that's
Gorman hitting 3rd, probably the 2 keys here in the mid tier.
Yes, 100%. Those are my top 2 second basemen per
dollar. Where do they have Drury at now? They still on the IL at 5K. All right, never mind. Not on the IL anymore, but he is not cheap. Thanks. Not cheap.
You know who is cheap? Bryce Terrain.
Oh yeah.
I mentioned him on the 3K tonight. I mean, with the updated numbers, now you can see at 355, 896 OPS his last 10 games. Guy has a lot of speed too, like 12 stolen bases, 3 triples on the year. Like we're coming around.
What Milwaukee did to me last night. I was, I had a pretty good night with the Brewer stack, and we said it on the show. Like we are more likely to want to stack against Mitch Keller. Made the Brad Keller joke like 6 times throughout the show. He looked a lot like Brad Keller last night.
Two shows. Across 2 shows.
What? He looked like Brad Keller last night. Okay, so
he sure did.
Those of you who got in super Sal Free like 1% roster last night, 33 fantasy points. John had him. Yep. Westberg hitting 5th tonight at $2,900. That's not terrible. And Luis Urias is making his debut for Boston tonight, hitting 8th.
Yeah, I mean, Urias is interesting because he was once a good player.
Yeah, he had 20 home run season under his belt. So,
yeah, very good utility guy for Boston. We'll see if he continues to hit the way he has. I mean, he's 8 hits and 55 at bats. I will probably pass here and let him get into his rhythm, especially when I can pay $100 more for Westberg and $200 more for Terrain.
I kind of want to play Massey tonight, man. Just.
You can.
3rd at $2,400. I'm making 3 lineups tonight. I'm probably going to have a Royals stack against Nola just to be contrarian.
Can't say I blame you. I mean, dude, Salvi's been good against righties all year. Now he has first base eligibility too to like make things a little more interesting. Bobby Witt's been as hot as any player across baseball. Michael Garcia is a threat to get on and steal. They're kind of it's a much better team. It is very interesting to see Michael Massey hitting third. I will not lie. That is an incredibly interesting lineup position.
Miguel in here wants to know about a G-Man Choi home run. I mean,
he's hitting 7th for the Padres tonight. So like,
$2,300
do I think
against Miller? What's that home run pay tonight? That's got to be like a $750 maybe. Let's see.
Is that even on the board? I wouldn't hear that's even.
I bet it's on the board. Let's see. Home runs for G-Man here. Scroll. You keep moving. I'll see if I can find it. Let's see.
Well, I'm just gonna give a shout to Miguel here
for G-Man Choi tonight.
Lefties against Bobby Miller, 193 ISO. So pretty good.
Zach Nato plays in the IL, so just swapping Drury for Nato there on the IL spots. All right, any other second baseman? Okay.
No.
Third base. Big position here. A lot of spend outs. You like Bregman. I like Devers. Those are the 2 guys that I was keying in on here today. Where are you going?
Yeah, Devers getting all the love in ownership land. I like Nolan Arenado against Chris Flexen. Playing a lot of Cardinals.
Is this a Josh Jung play? Luzardo's pretty good, but it's a lefty.
Yeah, and Jung has been good in the last 2 games, back-to-back multi-hit games, so you could definitely get to Jung hitting third here. Alec Boehm at 4K has been the Phillies' best hitter of late, and he's once again in the 2-hole for Philadelphia at 4K. You could play Berger, 3,900. I know you mentioned him at second. Same thing with Westberg. Same thing with Urias. Brett Beatty is a little interesting, but he's just been so bad. Lefties against Creamer has been a thing, but I don't think we need to get there.
Switch hitters are Minnesota throwing today. Julian, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to face 6 lefties today.
Yeah, and there's only 8 guys on that listed lineup.
Was there? I didn't even look. So
I believe that there was somebody excluded from that list.
Kike Hernandez is still cheap. I mean, you can always play the Dodgers, but I mean, like.
Yeah, he's also not third. He's a second outfielder.
Yeah.
He's been better, but they've also faced 3 left.
But
they left 3 lefties in a row. Now they face Yu Darvish.
So, yeah, not where I'm looking to go tonight, but I mean, the Dodgers are liable to lead the slate in runs every night. So, All right. So, what are third baseman then? We talked about value mid-tier. Is there other value you liked? Where are you at? Beatty probably.
Probably. I guess maybe you can look at Milwaukee is starting Brian Anderson. Like maybe if you wanted to play Brian Anderson, we know he was better against right-handed bats early in the year. He kind of fell off.
New stock was right-handed pitching. Home run threat against Castillo.
He was great last night too.
Yeah.
He had, another solid night for the Moose at 2,900. So 2 hits, double RBI. Yep. All right. Moose is on the loose again.
Shortstop here. Yep. Again, I like Bobby Witt, 5,500. Super expensive, but I do like going against Nola tonight. I'm telling you, that's where I'm at.
I mean, guy has 45 extra base hits and 31 stolen bases.
He's a monster. You in on Adames against Priester?
I am. Priester doesn't miss bats, and he's really struggling. So 4 home runs in his first 3 starts allowed. It's I'm in on Adames. Not as a one-off, in a Brewers.
Sure. Payne is hitting 8th tonight at $4,500. Keep moving him around the lineup.
They should. Well, he shouldn't hit second unless it's a lefty. Sure. He's been relatively bad against righties.
Let's see here. Was there a value shortstop? It doesn't look like any.
I would play Ezekiel Tovar against Adam Wainwright, hitting second, 4K. He's okay. Nothing really.
Not a lot of great stuff out here on shortstop.
I bet you.
Edmund has some stolen. I was going to say, Taco's asking thoughts on Edmund. Now, Edmund is elite against lefties and not very good against righties, but he does have stolen base potential, and flexing kind of sucks. So
He doesn't kind of suck. He sucks. Edman is getting some ownership. He's the third highest.
Yeah, you got a
first.
wraparound play for him too. So yeah, you can go Edman tonight. That's fine. I'm there. All right, outfielders. Again, don't need to waste everybody's time here. You can play all of these guys. Ohtani, Alvarez, Tatis, Tucker, Robert, Carroll. So like they're all in play. We love the Houston guys here tonight. When we built our lineup this morning, we played them both. So those would be the first two plugs for me. But I mean, can always just Ohtani is 40 home runs already. We're to 4 days in August. So if you want to play it, sure, 100%, go for it. I also Christian Yelich here at 53.
Dude, he's back, bro.
Another big night last night. 3 hits, 15 fantasy points, gets Priester. Soler. I mean, if you're not in on Montgomery, Miami has the guys that can hit lefties. So, home run play for Soler. Yeah, the Red Sox. Yoshida's been slumping, but getting back home could be a big boon for him. 328 average at home this year, 925 OPS compared to 286 and 778 on the road. I think those numbers could be legit. Just loves hitting at Fenway. Duran's there up to $4,400. Thoughts on this mid-tier for outfield rather?
Yeah, I mean the Boston guys are really interesting because their prices have come down. Well, I guess in the Yoshida Duran has gone up, but 6 implied runs for Boston. They're really popular tonight. They get Manoah, who has been really bad against both splits, but mostly the power has been against lefties, and Boston lefty, righty, lefty to start the top 6 of their lineup. So I love both Boston guys. Right there at the same price as Jarren Duran is Lars Nootbaar, 44. I talked about him at the top of the show, giving out our runs pick for RT Sports.
A few players harder than Chas McCormick. Yeah.
I mean, dude, he just continues to be awesome. Over 1,000 OPS, and I cannot believe that he's so good and hits 7th. Like that's unbelievable. But Nolan Jones right there too, $4,200. Nolan Jones gets the Adam Wainwright matchup, and I know it's Colorado, but I do not want to miss out on an opportunity to stack against Adam Wainwright. It's been almost a guarantee that you're getting like double-digit fantasy points out of almost everyone in your lineup.
I mentioned now Sal Frelick last night was 1%. I do not imagine him being 1% tonight. I think people will chase recency bias here, and he's $3,900 against Priester. So still like him though. Still think he's a fine play if you want to throw him in some lines here. You mentioned the home run problems for Ray against lefties. Sawinski's 36. Tyler O'Neill's been really great at $3,500 here. Yep. We didn't mention Santander. Where's his price at? Where is Santander playing today?
I don't think so.
No Santander. That's a big sad.
I think they probably day off knowing that he's only going to face Peterson once, maybe twice.
Any other value outfielders though?
Yeah, I mean under O'Neill,
Walker, I guess.
Jordan Walker for sure. Jordan Walker absolutely for sure. If you are playing against Aaron Nola, MJ Melendez is hitting 6th. I know he's been really disappointing. Will Brennan, $2,700. If you're playing Guardians, Willie Castro, he faces your boy, so probably can't get there. Weimer had a big night last night, John. And he's been like hits in 8 straight games, a couple multi-hit games. We know there's power there. Wallner, I know you're playing Kelly, but Wallner, if you're not playing Kelly, is down here
tonight. Just those matchups. I mean, again, it's not even that Kelly's been so good against lefties. It's hard for me to want to play.
Yeah, it's been tough.
So
yeah, it's fair.
All right, let's get to it. We got a couple minutes left. We got to get a lineup out there, so we'll kick it off with our top Grande's gems. Give me your top. Give me your home run call. I already gave mine. Give me your home run call.
Well, you have to run it back because we've got more people since. I'm gonna go with Nolan Arenado as my home run.
You have Nolan Arenado, as I said earlier on in the show. I have Kyle Tucker as my home run call for today. That's where I'm going with it. My top stack, I think we're both in agreement. We like Houston here today. I'll go with Baltimore again, though, as my other stack for today.
Yeah, and I'll take, if we're both going Houston, I'll split it and go St. Louis as mine. And I'll say, I think both of us agree, and I'm just going to say it, Sal Frelick is projected 1% rostership again, so I think Milwaukee is probably a stack that you and I both would get to.
I think my
on
contrarian stacks
contrarian.
today are going to probably be Milwaukee and Kansas City today. So.
Okay. I mean, Kansas City is going to be, if they go off, you're going to win a tournament tonight.
So I think that's what I'm going to do. I still like Boston again. I'll mix in some Red Sox tonight, but it is going to be Houston largely as my top stack of the night. Value play of the night for you?
I will go with Jordan Walker.
I'm going to go Mountcastle still. Under 4K, so that'll play. All right, let's build. I'm plugging Merrill Kelly. You can't stop me.
Yeah, then I'm plugging Reed Detmers,
right.
and you can't stop me.
Kelly Detmers are going dual mid-tier. Catcher spot. Go Connor Wong or Andy Rodriguez here?
Yeah, or Blue Jays or Wilson Contreras. I would say that's like our group. Which I'm fine with going Connor Wong for the record.
What's our outfield? We're going to do Yordan and Tucker and who?
Jordan Walker.
Jordan Walker, okay.
2,800. I feel like we'd get very good value there.
Tucker, Jordan. My mic's always in the way of my keyboard. All right. First base, I like Mountcastle here. It's a one-off play. Second base, what did you want to do?
Gorman or Bryson Stott, probably. Or we can another position we can punt and go Bryce Terang. $3,000.
I'm not even paying attention to me. I'm just highlighting Michael Massey. That's fine.
Oh, Michael Massey. Sorry, I'm locked in, John. I'm locked into the slate here. Okay. Do you want to go Michael Massey? Look, I'm okay. We're not playing Aaron Nola. If we want to play Michael Massey, play Michael Massey. Dude's hitting third. You want to know? We want to know some good about Michael Massey? I was just looking at it. Michael Massey over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching. Small sample. It is what it is. 262 isolated power against. Righties. Lefties against Aaron Nola this year, 208 ISO. Lefties against Aaron Nola over the last 30 days, 280 ISO.
Good. I'm all in. I filled this in. We got a $4,400 third baseman. Do you want to go McMahon against Wainwright here? Do you want to go Kim?
Yes, I didn't mention McMahon earlier. I love Ryan McMahon.
Bohm against Lyles.
I would say if you want the chalkier play, it's Alec Bohm, and the contrarian play there is McMahon. And I'm fine with either option. Okay. Bohm is.
I feel like I gotta go against Lyles.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
All right, so we'll throw this line about to the public here. We got Merrill Kelly, Reed Detmers, Connor Wong, Ryan Mountcastle, Michael Massey, Alec Bohm, Bobby Witt, Jordan Walker, Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez. A couple of two-man stacks here. Alvarez and Tucker with some power upside. We got Kansas City, my stack for being a little contrarian. Mountcastle, Wong, Bohm for some chalk, Walker for a little home run bop there with some mid-tier starters. James and I will be in the Discord. If you have any questions, find us in there.